he's a bad example of how you're supposed to move as a guy that has that level of
Ephesians, Titus, Corinthians, Colossians speaks
What
of
did
it
you Google?
all throughout the
Oh
Bible.
my God. Welcome back to the channel. ThonLexy here with another reaction. Came across this conversation with Anton Daniels. He had another one of those great panel discussions that he has, and he got into a debate with a guy who has some very questionable points of views. I'm not trying to bring his masculinity into question, but I'm just saying his points of views were very questionable. And then they got on the topic of Russell Wilson and the whole simp conversation, which is a conversation that I enjoy a lot because women have a hard time understanding men's perspective on it. Hit the subscribe button, also the notification bell to be notified every single time we post content just like this. Let's not waste 1 minute.
be any different than what Sierra has been, right? She's playing her cards right. She's not supposed to say anything negative about him. Of course, she's going to defend him and say he's an awesome guy. She's supposed to. I think that she's playing it exactly the way that she's supposed to play it. But that is why people look at him like that, because he's a bad example of how you're supposed to move as a guy that has that level of greatness about among him as a man, as an individual.
I applaud him for showing this woman grace, forgiveness, unearned favor, as it speaks in the Bible, sir.
I don't believe that you even believe what you
Unearned favor being the key word means you don't deserve it.
I don't believe you even believe what you're saying right now.
Ephesians, Titus, Corinthians, Colossians speaks
What did
of
you
it
Google?
all throughout the
Oh
Bible.
my God.
You could shut the fuck up.
It's painful.
Maybe he
I
liked the
mean,
fact that she was a mom and he could see how she parented before he squirted his babies in her.
You're a dummy, bitch.
Already so much to unpack. I've always said on my channel that Christianity and other religions are used very irresponsibly to try to muscle standards out of whatever person that's standing across from them. You can't use religion in this kind of way to negate men paying attention to the pitfalls of dating single mothers.
And lame for. So we dog the Black community out for having these single parent households and men not taking care of children and all these other things. And so when a man comes in and he's like, I'm going to make a family of this situation and I'm going to do it right, I can't call that lame. She was in her 20s when she was with Future and had his baby. People make mistakes, and maybe she doesn't even see it as a mistake at this point. Maybe she's just grown, changed, and evolved, and maybe they are now compatible in the way that they wouldn't have been. And that happens.
Oh, really?
People meet in high school and they don't get together until maybe 40 or 50 or whatever, because they had to go through whatever it is they had to go through.
Got me fucked up. Got me fucked up.
Absolutely not. Anytime where a woman is circling back on a guy at 40, that means she blew it in her 20s and 30s, probably throwing that hot pocket around.
You nasty. You's a nasty woman.
Point of order.
What's your point?
Probably out there being a 304, dating all the guys who smelt like a good time instead of had a smell of stability on them, or had that hint of being a good father and somebody who's actually chill. They went for a bad guy, and now they're 40, coming back to the dating market, trying to circle back on guys who are dumb enough to make that choice.
Them to each other. And so for this man to say, well, and I'm going back to what he said about the inner city guys are having babies all over the place and not taking care of them. And that's why they're not going to hang with Russell Wilson.
Accusations.
These are not accusations. This is
False accusations.
There is not a deadbeat father issue in the community. There aren't a lot of fathers in the Black community who originally want to be fathers and then just decide that they don't want to be. And I believe the whole Black men are the most active father statistic proves that on some level. What's happening is our women don't find the men who are actually fathers in the community. They don't find these men attractive. They don't find them stimulating. These men don't have enough swag for them. And then they end up having a baby by the wrong guy and then complain that there are no fathers in the community.
Damn.
Let's go ahead and get back into it.
We're going to call him lame for taking on responsibility. I mean, who cares about these inner city men who have no money, who are standing on the corners and not taking care of their children? Call me lame. I don't like.
It says so much about her character to assume that all black men who have a negative opinion on Russell Wilson, they just have to be a man who isn't taking care of their child and aren't taking care of their responsibilities as a man. Because there's no way you could be a good father and still also see that Russell Wilson is a simp.
I'm picking up your sarcasm.
Well, I should hope so, because I'm laying it on pretty thick.
Your son to do it if you had a son. If
To
you
find a woman
if you were to be raising your son, right? Assuming that you would have a son or not, or whatever. I don't know what your situation is. If you were to be raising a child, you would never advocate for him to do what Russell Wilson did. If you had a Russell Wilson that you had, and he was like, you know what, Mom, I'm thinking about getting with this girl, and she used to date rappers, and she also had a kid by a rapper named Future, and she also was dating 50 Cent and Bow Wow and the industry or whatever. But you know what? I think I can make an honest woman of her. Would you roll with that?
I would have to meet her. I don't judge people based on what they did yesterday. You know, I'm not saying that that's like, what is your character looking like?
Oh my goodness, this is so dishonest. This is so dishonest because women know that if they're served up this scenario in real life, they're not going to want their son to date this woman. This is dishonest. Oh, you care about the woman's character all of a sudden? I don't think you would care about the character of a man who had a felony or a DUI or maybe had a prior violent criminal offense or something like that. You wouldn't look past all of that and just see his character now, would you? So with your sons, it's okay for them to date a woman no matter what she's done in her past and just see her character.
Because I be feeling like everybody lying. Nigga, you lying.
Interesting.
I think most
I definitely
people,
wouldn't
when
tell
you
my
ask
son to
them
do
that
that.
question, they wouldn't just say no. They would tell them all of the bad shit that comes along with it and can you handle it and what kind of woman is she. They wouldn't just say don't do this.
I would tell my son not to do it,
refused.
but I definitely wouldn't be like. At the end of the
My
day, I would
mom
understand
would've
that it's his
rebuked
decision.
and took me to church immediately, and she would have had all of the prayer warriors praying over me and for my mind. She would say, I didn't raise you this way. What is wrong with you? And sit your butt down and know you're not doing this. Listen, my mom was more adamant. You know how most moms be like, don't you bring no white girl into this house when you was raised up. My mom was on that with regard to, you know, bringing a woman that already had children. Don't you bring no woman that already got kids into this house. My mom wouldn't plan that.
And that's good parenting. It's good parenting. It's how mothers typically feel about their sons dating stepmothers or dating women who have already had kids. This is pretty much how most mothers feel. It's just Anton's mom is somebody who doesn't mind expressing it and speaking up.
Shit, she knew better. And so I don't get it. Like, why do the best men have to take on the most broken women?
They don't have to.
How come
They choose
because
to.
we don't advocate for great women. We don't, because there are some awesome great women that make smart decisions. We don't advocate for great women to take on dusty men. Y'all never do that. You would never say take on an unequally yoked man that just is dusty as fuck and got to get his life together.
You can't bring up Bible stuff and ignore grace in the Bible.
Shut up, bro. Shut up, bro. Shut up, my nigga. Shut up.
Like, you can't bring up the Bible and not bring up defending the women. Like, you can't bring up the Bible without bringing up the women's grace. You hear me, women? I'm trying to get grace for you. Women who I hope will sleep with me because I'm pandering and I'm lame.
I know you on women's side. We don't advocate for women that are in a phenomenal position to ever go with a dude that ain't got nothing going for himself. Ever in any capacity.
Nope.
Sierra,
but we advocate for the greatest men. We advocate for the great. Let's be clear. Sierra was nowhere close to even being measurable to a Russell Wilson.
Nope.
We talking about a guy that had hundreds of millions of dollars in a contract, got a square fucking jaw, looked like goddamn Superman.
What?
And was leading his goddamn team to the Super Bowl.
Okay, but
And
he didn't
now-
find this
now-
girl in the Indies with 6 kids. Like, we're not going to say she had nothing going for herself because that's not true.
No, we don't tell women to do that. That's a fact. But when you tell men not to do it, like we talked about before, you were like, well, some people like toxicity. But something in Russell
Some people
Wilson
like
likes whatever
toxicity.
that is in Sierra. Do
He
I think
pursued
it's
her.
all?
These women are just throwing stuff at the wall just to see what sticks at this point. They're like, maybe he likes women who are a problem, who have stained up their dating past. No, men aren't looking for a challenge in that way. And men aren't looking for a challenge in any regards, I think, when dealing with women. I don't think that they're looking for a challenge. I think men are actually looking for an easy time because life, generally speaking, is a challenge for men. Just day-to-day, everyday things, just, just being a man. Very challenging. It's tough. It's dangerous. A lot of violence, a lot of harsh words, a lot of honesty and truths that women don't even have to live and deal with the day to day. So by the time we deal with a woman, we want our woman to be chill. We don't want a challenge.
When we sat up here and talked about, I forget that girl's name, but the one that does the running. When we talked about her, like
I think
like that guy shouldn't be dealing with her either. But yet
I think that guys
people
could do it.
advocated for it. Oh, she's a young girl, yada 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 yada. At the end of the day, some people like certain toxic things. You can't get them away from it.
I mean, and
I
to be
think that-
clear,
I think that guys should be able to
That's
should date whoever
justified.
they want. All right. So I don't really
Facts.
give a fuck.
Whoever they
Like,
want.
Let's be clear. Him rocking with her has no bearing on me. All right. I'm having this conversation because it was brought up from a popular culture perspective. But let's be very, 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 very clear. I would never advocate for somebody to do something I wouldn't do myself. That's number one. And number two, I think that the cultural standards and the norms, when we have these type of conversations, it more or less shows the disingenuous nature of women more than it does speak to Russell Wilson, right? Dudes is gonna simp no matter what. You're never gonna stop that. It's been happening since the beginning of time. I would never die on that hill.
They love it.
So, but at the same time, it really just shows the nature of women in that they don't see anything wrong with having a fucked up life and then having and thinking that they still deserve. All women, fat, skinny, big, tall, 70,000 kids, it doesn't matter. They all believe that they deserve a good man, all of them. And I think it's so disingenuous a lot of times when we had these conversations because I don't think that people being realistic. People know that they don't deserve it, but they will take him anyway, even knowing that they will slow him down. They know that it's a woman that will be better for him, but they will still take him anyway.
You do see this often. A woman will sit by your side and literally watch you wither away, knowing she's holding you back, and she'll act like she's not doing that. She'll know that without you, you probably would be less stressed, you'd have more money, your life would go smoother, but you better dare not say it. But she knows on some level if there's anything moral about her. A lot of women know that just because of how they built their life up before they got with a guy, they're technically like everything that comes along with them. A productive man, he's going to just simply be slowed down.
And that's the nature of women. It's just
you know what? You saying that women think that they deserve something that they don't. You're saying like, oh, well, we don't tell women to deal with the dusties and so on and so forth, but you do just by default by saying, okay, well, all of you don't deserve this man. Well, the ones with kids, you don't deserve this man. The ones that are overweight, you don't deserve this man. The one who want men with money, you don't deserve that man. So yeah, you kind of are telling them you need to settle for whatever's at the bottom, reach down there.
What I'm telling women is
somebody out.
What I'm telling women is that none of them do a self-assessment of who they deserve.
Has anybody ever thought about, like, if we can't tell women who have had multiple children by multiple different men that they don't have to settle, then who can we tell them? Who can we say, okay, you have to settle? Like, think about it. If we can't draw the line on women who have had multiple kids by multiple different men, if you don't have to settle after that, then who does? Because somebody has to settle just by the numbers and how much women outnumber men. Not only are some of you not getting a man at all, Some of you are going to have to settle.
Talking about it from, well, these are the type of men that's available. I don't ever hear women having a conversation about whether or not they actually deserve what it is that they feel like they want.
Yeah.
Anybody can have preferences.
Where are the qualification
But see, again, and I said it, I said it before.
Where are the qualification conversations?
They know what they qualify for. You know what happens when a guy go through divorce? You know what be in that nigga comments? If you go through a video, go through any video on TikTok or Instagram and see a guy talking about how a chick left him. You know what the comments will say?
Grind mode.
See you in the gym, my nigga. Time to go into monk mode and get your money up. That's what. See you in the gym, bro. Ha ha.
Grind mode.
Meet you at the gym. Time to level up. You know what women say? Oh, he never deserved you anyway.
No, because if you say anything, we had this conversation before. If you say anything different, you are against women. You are a pick me. You're not being supportive. Yada 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 yada. So you can't actually even do that.
Yeah, but we also had the conversation where we said when women get divorced, the first thing they do is go to the gym and get right. So are they not doing what the men are doing, or this is a different conversation, so it doesn't apply?
When talking about the righteousness of women, the fact that women go out after marriages and on average actually do lose weight after they get out of marriages for the available men who they don't know, who didn't sacrifice any of their life and finance and energy for them to survive. They could get fit for the new suitors, but the guy who was protecting them day to day and was providing for them every day, they couldn't get a sandwich or a fit woman.
No. Guys go to the gym as a coping mechanism to get themselves together. Women go to the gym so that they can make themselves available to the next man. It's a difference.
Here's why you're there. You're still there.
Cook.
Reasons matter.
Anton is cooking.
Absolutely, the reason why you do something matters.
The reason matter why you snap?
Because you got to remember, the reason why she broke up with him in the first place is so that she can go and get with another guy. A guy is getting into the gym in order to get over who it is that broke up with him in the first place. The reasons absolutely matter.
That's not necessarily true. The number one reason a woman gets divorced is because of infidelity.
No, it's not true. The number one reason why a woman get divorced is because of money.
So you just pulled that out of your ass just because maybe you thought that would sound cool. Didn't really care to research it. You just were like, I'm just going to say that because that'll shut these big bad guys up. It wasn't really wise because you threw that out there, and that's actually not true. Anton's right. More marriages end due to financial reasons. And here's the crazy thing about that. That's a 1-minute Google. That shows how much effort Black women are willing to put into actually learning the rights and wrongs, do's and don'ts to this conversation versus how much they're just invested in being triggered by the fact that the conversation is happening in the first place. Let's get back into it.
The number one reason for divorce is finance. That's a fact.
So then it's not to go get with some other guy.
Okay, Kim. All right.
It's another guy that got more money.
But I feel like if people are gonna,
because they get cheated on,
what?
Women leave because the money ain't right.
What men do what?
Women don't leave because of infidelity. Women stay with men that have money that cheat on them.
And that's just it. Point proven. Not only did he win that argument, he won the Russell Wilson is a simp debate also. Because if the men say that he's a simp, he's a simp. There are universal truths that men understand on all tax brackets on how men are supposed to conduct themselves and move in the dating market. And not just for the dating market's sake, but for your integrity and for your pride as a human. And we watch Russell as the figure that he is, and it's because we're proud of him that it's so painful. Yet people think that we're hating on him and Travis Hunter when nothing could be further from the truth. Speaking of Travis Hunter, it looks like men, even average men, were right about how that situation was going to play out. Shout out to Anton and these panels and everybody else who joined the conversation. Hit the subscribe button on your way out of the room. Also hit the notification bell to be notified every single time we post content just like this. I'll see you guys on the next one.